Prince Harry thought he'd escaped the royal cage when he fled to California, but now that freedom might cost him everything. A federal judge just dropped a bombshell that could see the Duke of Sussex kicked out of America permanently, and the evidence comes straight from his own mouth. While Harry faces potential deportation, Meghan's been quietly distancing herself from the chaos, and the palace? They've gone completely silent, leaving their former golden boy to face the music alone. The nightmare started when Harry decided to air his dirty laundry in his tell-all memoir Spare. In those pages, he confessed to using cocaine, marijuana, and magic mushrooms throughout his life. He thought he was being brave and honest, but what he actually did was hand his enemies a loaded weapon. Conservative groups immediately pounced on these admissions, demanding to know if Harry lied on his U.S. visa application when he moved to America. Immigration forms require complete honesty about drug use, and lying on federal documents is a deportable offense. Now a federal judge has ordered the Department of Homeland Security to release Harry's immigration records, and the clock is ticking. The Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, has been pushing this case for months, arguing that Harry received special treatment and should be held to the same standards as any other immigrant. They want to know if he checked no on the drug use question, and if he did, they want him gone. The judge's ruling means we might finally see exactly what Harry disclosed when he applied for his visa, and if there's a discrepancy between his memoir confessions and his official paperwork, he's in serious trouble. What makes this even more explosive is the timing. Harry's admissions weren't just casual mentions in interviews, they were detailed confessions in a best-selling book that generated millions in revenue. He described snorting cocaine and experimenting with psychedelics in vivid detail, painting himself as someone who had extensive experience with illegal substances. Immigration lawyers are now saying that level of drug use would typically disqualify someone from receiving a U.S. visa, raising questions about whether Harry got special treatment because of his royal status. The Trump administration has already made it clear they won't protect Harry if he's found to have violated immigration law. During his previous presidency, Trump openly criticized Harry and Meghan, and now that he's back in office, sources say there's no love lost between them. Unlike the Biden administration, which seemed willing to look the other way, Trump's team has indicated they'll enforce immigration law regardless of royal titles. If Harry lied on his visa application, he could face immediate deportation proceedings, but the immigration scandal is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind the scenes, Harry and Meghan's California operation has been falling apart for months. More than 20 staff members have quit or been fired since they moved to Montecito, creating a revolving door of disgruntled employees. The latest exodus saw their entire PR team get the axe, with Harry and Meghan blaming their representatives for the negative coverage they've been receiving. Sources close to the situation say the couple has become impossible to work with, making unrealistic demands and lashing out when things don't go their way. The staff departures aren't just about difficult personalities, though. Reports suggest that working for Harry and Meghan has become a nightmare scenario for media professionals. Multiple former employees have spoken anonymously about the toxic environment at Arkawell, their production company, with some reportedly needing therapy after their experiences. The pattern is always the same. Promising executives join with high hopes, realize the reality doesn't match the public image, and quietly slip away before their reputations get damaged. Vanity Fair recently published a devastating expose revealing just how isolated Harry has become within his own organization. Former staff members describe him withdrawn and struggling to adapt to life outside the royal bubble. Unlike Meghan, who thrives in the Hollywood networking scene, Harry appears lost without the structure and support system he grew up with. The magazine painted a picture of a man who traded his birthright for freedom but discovered that freedom came with consequences he wasn't prepared for. The royal family's response to Harry's mounting troubles has been deafening silence. King Charles, who once bent over backward to accommodate his younger son, has completely cut off communication regarding Harry's legal issues. There's no palace legal team swooping in to help. No behind-the-scenes damage control, and no public statements of support. The message is clear. Harry chose to leave the family, and now he's on his own to deal with the fallout from his decisions. This abandonment by the palace represents a dramatic shift in how the royal family handles scandals. In the past, they would have quietly managed the situation through their extensive network of contacts and influence. Now, Harry is just another private citizen facing legal troubles, and the institution he spent his life criticizing isn't lifting a finger to help him. The silence speaks volumes about how completely he's burned his bridges with the family that once protected him from everything. Meghan's reaction to the crisis has been equally telling. While Harry faces potential deportation, she's been focusing on solo projects and maintaining strategic distance from his legal troubles. Industry insiders say she's been taking meetings without Harry, positioning herself as the stable American half of their partnership. There's speculation that she's preparing for a scenario where Harry might be forced to leave the country, and she's not planning to follow him back to Britain. The financial implications of Harry's immigration troubles extend far beyond legal fees. Their lucrative deals with Netflix and Spotify were built on the novelty of having actual royals creating content for American audiences. If Harry loses his legal status in the US, those contracts could become worthless overnight. The couple has already struggled to produce content that justifies their massive advance payments, and losing Harry's royal connection would eliminate their unique selling point entirely. Conservative legal experts are now predicting that Harry's case could set a precedent for how celebrity immigrants are treated under US law. If someone with his profile and resources can face deportation for immigration violations, it sends a message that nobody is above the law. The Heritage Foundation has already announced they'll push for maximum penalties if Harry is found to have lied on his application, seeing this as an opportunity to demonstrate that the immigration system applies equally to everyone. The timing couldn't be worse for Harry's reputation rehabilitation efforts. Just as he was trying to rebuild his image through charity work and public appearances, the immigration scandal has reminded everyone of his past drug use and raised questions about his honesty. The prince who once claimed moral high ground over his family now faces accusations of lying to federal authorities, and the hypocrisy isn't lost on his critics. What makes this situation particularly tragic is how avoidable it all was. Harry's decision to include detailed drug confessions in his memoir was seen by many as unnecessary oversharing, but his publishers pushed for maximum controversy to drive sales. Now those same admissions that made his book a bestseller might cost him his American residency. The short-term financial gain from shocking revelations is turning into a long-term legal nightmare that could destroy everything he's built in California. The immigration case also highlights the broader challenges facing Harry and Meghan's post-royal careers. Without the protection and guidance of palace staff, they've made a series of missteps that have damaged their credibility and marketability. From the Oprah interview backlash to their failed Spotify deal, they've struggled to find their footing as independent celebrities. The immigration scandal represents another self-inflicted wound in a pattern of poor decision-making. Legal experts following the case say the next few months will be crucial for Harry's future in America. If the released documents show he was truthful about his drug use, he might survive the controversy with his reputation intact. But if there's evidence he lied or received special treatment, he could face immediate deportation proceedings. The uncertainty is already affecting his ability to make long-term commitments, with several planned projects reportedly on hold pending the outcome. The palace's refusal to intervene has created an unprecedented situation where a senior royal family member faces potential exile without institutional support. Palace insiders say the decision to abandon Harry was made at the highest levels, with King Charles personally approving the hands-off approach. The message being sent is that actions have consequences, and Harry's decision to attack the family publicly has severed his safety net permanently. As the legal proceedings continue, Harry finds himself in the worst possible position, fighting for his American dream while watching his British heritage slip away. The prince who once had the world at his feet now faces the very real possibility of being a man without a country, unwelcome in Britain, and potentially deported from America. The immigration scandal has become a symbol of how far he's fallen from grace, and there's no guarantee he'll survive the landing. The next chapter of Harry's story will be written in federal court, where his fate will be decided by judges who don't care about royal titles or celebrity status. For a man who spent his entire life being told he was special, the prospect of being treated like any other immigrant facing deportation must be terrifying. The boy who was born to privilege is discovering that in America, privilege only goes so far. When you're accused of lying to the federal government, whatever happens next, one thing is certain: Harry's journey from beloved prince to potential deportee represents one of the most dramatic falls from grace in recent royal history. The choices he made in pursuit of freedom and authenticity have led him to this moment of reckoning, and there's no royal family cavalry coming to save him this time. He's finally gotten the independence he wanted, but it might cost him everything he thought he was fighting for.